Welcome to Talkin Shit.
Let's go. First episode, Talkin Shit, and it is going to be a good one. So, listen, get your snacks, get something to drink, and get real comfortable with us,
Yeah. Make sure you take your shit, because it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
My name's Amanda.
And I go by the name of Prodigy Q. And I'm excited for this podcast. Right? We've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
You listened to the introduction we did. I brought you back here. Welcome back. This is your first time. Welcome. And we hope that it's not going to be your last time.
Yeah. Keep on coming back.
It's some good shit talking to come.
Yeah. We're talking about some heavy shit today, forewarning. But I think it's gonna be good and celebratory at the same time. I hope that you celebrate with us.
Agreed. I agree too. I think very interesting too. So I'm excited for where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier, but I'm always excited about like what kind of things we found and things we're gonna uncover. What are we exactly talking about today?
So, we are both in the film industry, performing industry, all of that jazz. And I think that there are a lot of things that art and performances do for you. But it's really amazing to know like the amount of work and like what all the different types of work it takes to be an actor on set, and everybody has their own job. Don't get me wrong, I'm really excited to be able to celebrate performers that have carried on a lot of big messages.
Right.
But we're talking shit about the dead RuneSki actors on set. So basically people that have died like either on set or like they were filming that day or something, and
I have something to feel like about like that just kind of died in like some interesting ways.
Yeah.
Maybe suddenly, maybe not necessarily on set, but maybe away from set, but it was the circumstances surrounding the situation is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and some impactful shit. Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna save my most impactful for last.
I feel
so
good.
We both have different people, but we don't know. Like we haven't talked to each other about it.
Right.
So
it's gonna be interesting. That's also really interesting to see like what conversations come from this and who she found, and I know she said who I found. So. I'm ready to get into it. I'll be ready for this one.
Get into it, yeah. Okay, you go first.
Okay, so cool. So, the first person I'm doing, and many of you may have heard of her, and for many of you, it may be the first time you heard of her at all, but it's Mrs. Dorothy Dandridge, and she was born in the 20s, Cleveland, Ohio, and she was pretty much an African American actress, pretty much one of the first overly successful African American women actresses who made a profound mark on her career and in the industry, especially really talk about paving the way for really any other African American actress that came after her. Literally, she really broke down the barriers and the stereotypical barriers, even though she was still facing those same barriers. She was a singer, performer, even starting off early with her family. She was in a group called the Dandridge Sisters. They would perform do all kind of great things, and then she kind of soloed out and began to pursue acting and stuff. And it was kind of unfortunate for her because a lot of people say like she was like the best talent, but really born in the wrong time. Like the situation is the segregation stuff that's going on, like really, really like stilted her career based on what she really could be, because she was just pure raw talent. And so and they became best friends with Marilyn Monroe, and they even say sometimes like, Marilyn Monroe even got some of her nuances even from Dorothy Dandridge, etc. Because of course of the color barrier, then rose more than Dorothy Dandridge. Even some of the venues that Dorothy Dandridge performed at, of course, she couldn't even use the bathrooms at those same venues, or still had to come through the back, even though she's the headliner. So those are the kind of things she was really kind of going through, and then life behind the scenes took a toll. So she had a lot of because of that adversity, it kind of spilled into like her personal life. And she was married and had a kid, and the kid ended up being born with a disability. So she always faulted herself for her child's health. And it really took a toll on her. And then, of course, that ended in a divorce. And then some other choices as far as acting wise that didn't pan out so well for her. Ended up hurting her, and she got into another marriage. But that marriage was horrible, and she spent so much of her money investing money into that second marriage for his sake, to where that by the time she divorced him, she was pretty much broke, penniless, and had nothing, And it's so sad, because then she pretty much was supposed to go to the hospital for a foot injury because she had fallen, and so she told her management to postpone the appointment, come at a later time. So when they didn't hear back, he kind of broke in the house and then found her tragically. She had died. They say it was one of two things. They say it was either a parent overdose over some antidepressants, or because they said prior to, she was really had got kind of manic, and depressants and alcohol, just like heavy prior. But and they said there was even like a and she even left this note that was like, in case of my death, to whoever discovers it, don't remove anything I have on, scarf, gown, or other underwear. Cremate me right away. And if I have anything, money, furniture, give it to my mother, Ruby Dandridge. She would know what to do. And I think it was all yes, she was talking to people before, just saying before how tired she was, because when she lost all her money, because she was, going back to her daughter, she had to eventually put her daughter, she was taking full-time care of her daughter at the peak of her career, she could afford it. So then, of course, when she, with the marriages and stuff like that, lost all her money, she had to give her daughter to the state on top of everything. So I think that weight of a lot of that probably had some type of, traumatic impact on her. It's really sad, because she never really kind of got that credit. She really she did, but of course, that stuff don't really come until after, it's just especially now, she could see the impact and really, really have. But she was one of the main faces. And so fortunate because she even died at 42, so still so young. And,
wow.
Yeah, so much still she could have done. And,
what date did she die?
September 8th, 1965. 42. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It still wasn't. It wasn't ruled a suicide though. Even though he did find a note. It was I feel like the handwriting didn't match to hers. So there's another layer of
oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
But all they were saying that it came from an embolism, a fracture of bone that was in her foot that she was going to go see, had got into her bloodstream somehow. So that was one of the other rulings, or one of the first rulings. It's never really been, I guess, one way or another. Mysterious for sure.
Yeah. Was she cremated quickly?
Oh, yeah,
I know she asked for it.
And that was another thing, because she was, they did honor it, I guess, almost as a last will and statement.
Yeah.
I guess in that regard, because she was cremated, so of course now we won't know what, but it's really, it's all very interesting.
Especially since it was like, literally the note was like, get rid of me
as
as
soon
as possible.
Like, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I hope. Man, that's what's crazy about all these like cold cases, man. I hope that people find out. Sometimes you do find out way later, but I hope there's some evidence found or something.
So now, but we celebrate, of course, what she's done, and
Exactly.
of course they made a movie not too long ago about her life, but she really big actress. When he was doing some of this, I saw some things and some clips, and impressive, like just the natural ability, that she just seemed to possess, like in her roles and stuff that I watch. It's it's very impressive. Definitely ahead of her time, But at the same time, as I would say, it might have been the wrong time for her. I think with the right time, just that's some life, a lot of life things are sometimes, And the industry, like I said, doesn't make it that hard. There's still, lots of ground that, African American men and women, especially women, are still trying to get through and hurdle through, in this industry, And I do believe that had she not had some of those things going against her so much, I don't think she would have probably had this kind of outcome in her life, But she was the first African American woman to be nominated for an Academy Award. And the first on the Time magazine as well. Yeah. So big, big steps and bravos.
For sure. Things to be celebrated and to take note of. But also to, it's just, I know there's so much further to go now, but it's just crazy, that wasn't that long ago at all.
It wasn't at all.
It's still within people alive's lifetime.
Exactly. Seriously, say you think it took us a long time, but by the time you passed in the 60s, 60s wasn't a long time ago.
Yeah, one of my parents was already born.
Yeah, right. Seriously. I wasn't born yet, but still, it's just.
Yeah.
So it should have been what? 101 now.
We're gonna redo that, but first here, I want to cheers. I made us an adult milkshake. Cheers.
Cheese.
Some of it's perfect ice cream texture, and some of it you lap it up. Very good. Okay. If you want the recipe, comment and ask. I'll let you know, but you gotta beg for it, baby.
Right. Oh man, it's so good too.
It was really good. I wanted
comments up. I don't want this.
For real. It's not for the kiddos, for sure. Not to say I didn't partake as a kiddo. Okay. So this happened on July 23rd, 1982. It involves someone named Vic Morrow, Renee Shin Yi Chen, Micah Dinley. I think I pronounced those right. I did look them up, and if I butchered it, please let me know. Just let me know. But the kids were 6 and 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah. Renee and Micah were both kids. And yeah, it was they were filming it at it was a film adaptation of the show The Twilight Zone. Um, or of Rod Sterling's Twilight Zone. I don't know if that's the same as the show. I think it is. Yeah. But anyways, it was produced by Steven Spielberg, and it was like supposed to be in the film, but they didn't use it obviously because it was a helicopter that was flying like really low and like lost control and crashed into the three of them.
That is so
And
crazy.
I know.
I just figure out like how does those kind of technicalities happen? I mean, they just like, hey, you know, we got enough gas for one run, but you know, I mean, I feel like you know, I mean, I don't know, you know, or do they not rehearse those things prior? Or?
Well, that's a scary thing. Like, you really think that there is gonna be safety on set, and like that stuff like that, like everybody's to a level of professionalism that we're fine, but I mean, a lot of different accidents have happened on set. So according to a 1987 New York Times report, it was the first time a film director faced criminal charges for events that occurred while making a movie.
Oh, so they did.
Yeah. So they did have misdemeanor charges. I want to say, let's see. I think they all got like a lot of. But anyway, hold on. I want to talk about the accident, but like it was special effects explosions. That's what caused the craft to lose control because it was low flying and the explosions, I guess, like got it. Yeah, but it was their last day of shooting, like
That's
period.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's a horrible last day, man.
I know.
It's a sad rap party.
Yeah, for real. Especially like seeing it, not just like I know we experienced like a death on the last day on something we worked on, and that was like very, very sad, and there was definitely like mourning happening for sure, but to see something that gruesome
Right.
to children, yeah, like I can't imagine what they went through.
I'm sure you just have to.
Yeah. And that's why it's like you definitely gotta be careful.
And I mean, and regardless of the fact you didn't use it, you have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have the like, you have the footage of that incident.
Yeah. I know.
Like,
that's what's insane.
I want to be like, delete that immediately. Like, how did they?
For real. So this accident happened like 8 years before this report started, but so it was on like July 23rd, 1982, but then an Associated Press report from 1990 until 2016, they reported over 150 incidents where people had accidents on set with life-altering injuries, and then at least 43 people died. Yeah. And I know that that's a long time, so, but there shouldn't be any accidental deaths. I mean, there's some that just happen.
Right.
And I know that. There's like...
Just because of the risk
but
involved, but you expect that in certain situations, because if you're supposed to be, 30, 40, 50 feet in the air, jumping, from building to building, kind of a thing. Then I mean, there's lots of room for error in that particular, situation. But for some of these technical things, to me, is like, you know, how did we not?
Yeah.
Like
how did we do enough testing to know that this wasn't? But it's also, I wonder if the film industry's always been like all work, no sleep.
And I even it's almost because even with that situation, it's like said, how many times did they try that shot before they took that shot? It's like
before they brought talent out.
Right, before you brought talent out. That's my thing. Like, how did you not know that? Did you not, have the aircraft and the ballistics go off at the same time just to see that kind of thing? Or
I was trying to find more of those questions.
Like I said, it was just one of those things where, like I said, it's like, and I can see that being a set thing where it's like, okay, we have, especially with those effects and stuff, it's like, okay, we have a certain amount and take a lot to place and put, so we don't have
and it's expensive.
we don't have a lot of room for testing it, but I feel like if you don't have the room to test it, then you shouldn't do it.
Exactly, especially if it's something that compromises safety.
Yeah, you're right. It'd just be like, okay, it'd be a cool shot for the shot's sake, but a shot's sake that would have
either spend the money and you do it, or you...
Right, because even in the movie, it probably would have been, at most, most of these things go with 45-second clip, if that much, if it would have got that much time,
Yeah.
Like...
That's one thing that's still a hard pill to swallow, is how much footage goes unused. Like, scenes get cut, and days of work are just scrapped.
Scrapped.
Oh my god. I can't imagine how much they scrapped with a death. Like,
right.
you're just normally already scrapping days of work. Without a tragic incident that changes the whole plot.
Or sometimes stuff that wasn't even necessary. Like, that scene wasn't even necessary for them. So it's and you want the shot, but sometimes you do. I feel like some of these people, situations like put so many people at risk for the shot. We want to get, that doesn't really have any major impact on the plot. You got all these great shots, and then. I've seen it done very well and not so much either. You got a great plot, and then all these crazy shots don't get nothing to support the plot, or other way around. You got a great plot, and you didn't even need all the other extra.
So they did change some of the characters' role. So like he. Was risking his life to save the kids, and it was like ultimately like gonna be redemptive, and like I think they killed him off. I don't know. They did it. But it was not supposed to end with him as like a hero, because he was like kind of terrible the whole time. But then a whole dude died, so it was a little bit like. Yeah.
Right.
Don't want your last
legacy necessarily.
Yeah.
Already a bad one, based on
a
a bad one.
Yeah. No, it was messed up. Went through a bunch of like different realities, but was ultimately a terrible person the whole time. So then he rescued the two children, and okay. Oh, this is the arresting part. So the Twilight Zone co-director John Landis, who did like Blue Brothers and Trading Places, National Lampoon's Animal House, etc. Yeah, and 4 other men working on the film, including the special effects coordinator and the helicopter pilot, were charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Oh wow! I was gonna ask what happened to the pilot. Wow.
Yeah. But according, I said that part earlier, that was the first time a film director, like, got charges for that, which is wild, because when we went, that also was when the whole Alec Baldwin thing happened.
Right.
And we were on set that day, and it was, like, so sad and, like, shook. So another instance where it's, like, it's just crazy, because I know how heavy the feelings were away from the trauma, like, not even experiencing the trauma firsthand.
And still just be like, wow. Like,
yeah.
Even still thinking about it, you know what I mean?
It's because, like, it could be any set.
Any set. It could be any set, you know?
And you know, some people on set should not necessarily be working on set.
And that's so true. Oh my God. Who's in charge? Who?
Yeah. Let me see your qualifications.
That's where you messed up at.
Honestly, let me see your background check. Yeah. Okay, so during the trial, the defense maintained that the crash was an accident that could have been predicted, while the prosecution said that Landis, the director, and the crew have been reckless and violated laws regarding child actors, including regulations about their working conditions and hours. Following the emotional 10-month trial, a jury acquitted all 5 defendants in 1987. The families of the 3 victims filed lawsuits against Landis, Warner Brothers, and Twilight Zone co-director and producer Steven Spielberg that were settled in undisclosed amounts.
I figured that's right. So they got acquitted, they didn't go to jail.
Yeah,
they had to pay
it.
And then that's fine. Look here.
I mean, it's not fine.
It's not fine. It's really not fine.
No.
Hey, that's how it goes.
That's how it's been going.
That's
how it's gonna go till it doesn't.
They probably, like I said, they probably only really did that much. They probably really only made him prosecuted, but because, technically speaking, there's more kids involved than adults. You know what I mean? Like, if there's probably 3 adults, it probably wouldn't even went that far, honestly.
No, because Alec Baldwin still went to trial. Like, it's still a life in manslaughter, but I'm sure they got a higher payout since it was children. Yeah. And especially since they had already violated laws against child labor laws.
But I don't hear a lot of people going to court. Do they all go to court? I knew all.
Yes, they just all pay up.
I knew. I heard it. It was going to court.
For the death, somebody's going to be blamed, for sure. Whether they get away with it or not. Or at least the studio getting sued or something.
I've heard about other situations, but I've never heard anybody. You hear about the situation, but you never hear about, like, so I've heard of other, like, stunt drivers and stuff who, I don't say, like, I never heard those people going to court.
Did you follow up on it?
That's what I say. Right? Those parts is like how they go that deep into it. But,
I didn't follow up on it either, so I'm still speaking blindly. But I can't imagine them not go to court. Like, something like that, a death thing with a big company, yeah. I guess if it's a small company, maybe not. Exactly.
I guess you got to just for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they go to court, but I meant, like, as far as courts getting criminal charges placed against you.
Oh yeah.
That's what.
That doesn't always happen.
Right. That's what.
It's like there's like sometimes it feels like it's kind of your fault.
Yeah.
So let's work a little something out.
Right.
Instead of you completely fucked up.
Right. That's the part of it. It's like they have criminal charges being placed. Like,
yeah.
So even at Bobo, they was
sick is weird. I felt like the frozen stuff made it all globby. Does it look globby? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I could tell because you were acting like you didn't want to say it, but it's okay. You could tell me. Especially.
I just I didn't know.
I don't want to be globby for the people.
I didn't know what your definition of globby meant, but if you meant like not like supposed to. I'm just yes.
Not like supposed to.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like globby, like.
And globby, like it's like a different texture, like.
Oh, okay.
Because of what I've gotten rid of and the different.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should we cut this out, or you entertain the people alone? Because I'm gonna go fix this problem. Oh my god. Whatever. I'm going to grab the lipstick. I'll bring it in here.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about my next person then to the people.
Okay.
Since,
I'm listening.
okay, cool. So we're talking about this case is crazy. Actor by the name of Bob Crane. This was a story that kind of just came to me. I didn't hear about it previously, but I thought it was very interesting. Because this is a beloved actor who life ended tragically and under some mysterious circumstances. It's crazy. So Bob Crane was a charismatic actor, best known for his role as
Colonel.
So it's good.
I always want to say Colonel. I want to say Colonel or Colonel.
Okay, I did know that, but word. It's just always.
I know it makes you second guess
yes, just Colonel Hogan in the popular television series Hogan's Hero, and things kind of turned because he was found dead in his Scottsdale, Arizona apartment on June 29th, 1978. Yeah. And there's a lot of, perplexities about the case because there was not much evidence found. So there was a lot of theories and stuff about kind of what happened. And so when the police discovered his body, they found it bludgeoned to death. But the murder weapon was never found, and the apartment showed no signs of forced entry, which means that he either knew the person or he trusted the person, and so they did some. In the 90s, they had some technology. They used the luminol to look at blood and stuff. So they found out that some blood was also found in his rental car, so it might suggest that blue or some foul play or evidence was tempered somewhere. But they did have a primary suspect, his close friend, a video technician, John Carpenter, and a woman named Tricia Olson. And both had connections to Crane and were present in his life around the time of the murder. John Carpenter was actually even tried for his murder. I think they said 3 times. He was acquitted.
Wait, how did they do that? Did they? Because it's that's the whole second trial thing that I don't completely understand. They just basically changed the name or add a different charge to it. I guess.
And then you can
basically,
make it.
And then you can go again.
No, you can't. But because first one was it was a mistrial, hung jury. Two was hung jury, and then the final one was they mischarged it. So, but it was, but the reason why he was a suspect, because they had been recording their sexual, explicit videos, encounters and stuff with various women, and so it was believed that Carpenter's jealousy and growing tensions between the two might have been a motive for the crime. And then as for Patricia Olson, she was another person in Crane's life he was involved with, and some speculate that a love triangle could have played a part between the 3 of them, or whatever. But it's really interesting too, you know what I'm saying? And then some say, he had some gambling debts, so the mob probably, got to him. But there was, it's still a mystery, and we still don't know what happened, what happened. But I was it's so crazy because it makes you think that so much could happen. I was in this thing this is a perfect story. You got mob bosses and sex and love triangles and you know what I mean? You got all of it. All of it.
All the shit.
All the shit. Oh my goodness, like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
This is the kind of stuff that I would make happen, like, in my Barbie stories growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I had a whole, like, there was always conspiracies and big backstories. I was actually talking to one of my childhood friends the other week, and she literally was like, that I used to tell them that the backstory that I had with this one character, and that they had to follow it. I was like, this is their backstory. You better do it right. Like, and then they always all had like threesomes and a bunch of different relationships. It was actually really polygamy because I only had one kid doll.
Really? Kid had you everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
this.
But it was like some people really wanted it polyamorous, and some people, especially Ken, wanted the polygamy.
Yeah, that's so
it was
funny.
it was a mess.
Oh, that's so funny. But
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting though. I think that
Honestly, I watched enough murder shows growing up that I probably made them murder each other too.
Had too much time with Ken last night. Raging.
I remember I used to throw some of them out the window. Yeah. There was like on the top floor, I liked throwing them out the window and seeing what happened. Not in like this makes me sound like super serial killer way, but like not like that. It's just, it was fun.
It gives me the little kid from Toy Story that will like dismember all the dolls and stuff.
Not that.
Like,
I didn't do that.
Talking about
I did make a
fly. Excuse me, kick and fly.
I did make some tragic dolls going through tragic stuff. No, they had their life issues,
Oh,
okay?
Sheesh, therapy for the dolls, man. They got a story.
Yeah.
Got a story to tell. Oh man.
I came out the womb crazy. It's okay. Crazy and expressive. That's me.
So
Yeah.
wild, man. We had like videos and stuff, and then we like trying to leak them.
Wait, what?
They said they had videos and stuff.
Of all.
I don't know if it was like, I mean, I don't know. It said they would record videos and encounters with various women. I don't know if they were doing it individually, collectively. You know, that's why I gotta recording these things. That's the thing to do.
Yeah, for real.
Like, why y'all here
At least
recording
back
it?
then it was fuzzy.
Yeah, right. And it was so new, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure, like, those recorders were probably so new, they was ready. But it's just imagine, like, I mean, like, something happened, though. Like, I mean, bludgeon somebody to death is a lot of anger. You know, like, yeah, it's not something that you usually do, like, say something, did something, like, something serious. So, it does make kind of sense when they go through. There's a lot going on. Right there.
Yeah. Okay. Why does it keep on doing that? I don't understand. Wake up! I keep on like going to do mine and then
Technology issues, man.
I know. I'm struggling. Okay. So the next person I'm going to talk about is Red Fox. So he always used to, like, a big bit that he always did was faking having a heart attack. And one day he was on set for Sanford and Sons, and or no, he was on set for the Royal Family. Sanford and Sons was what he did for a while.
Yeah.
But
I read from the spin-off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like in rehearsal acting like he was having a heart attack, just like normal. And then he collapsed, and everybody was like laughing, joking around. They were like, "Oh, Red Fox just back at it again." But he wasn't back at it again. He was not back at it again after that. This is how I deal with grief. So get ready. I laugh. So I would have laughed like with. If I was there and I saw this, I would have laughed with the people, like, thinking that he was joking. And then I would have, like, laughed and screamed and cried right after. But I would have had so many different various laughs for the feelings. I'm just a giggly bitch, you know. No matter what I'm feeling. And it was like 4 hours after that he died. So it wasn't even that long at all. But it was, this article was from October 12th, 1991. So I think he died the day before. I wrote it down. But then it disappeared. So, wow, I suck at my job.
What is it? The day he died? Listen,
yeah.
If you know the date Red Fox died,
yeah.
put it in the comments because he's struggling to find it. So.
Yeah. But he was 68, and he went from making $4 million, I think, a year. See, my problem was I put way too much information, and then because I was gonna read all of it and not thinking how much time that actually takes, and I didn't highlight the information that I wanted to. Oh my god! Now it's
doing all kinds of.
Okay, wait. I put it. Okay, so he went from making $4 million a year to being broke when he died.
Really?
Yeah. When he died, he was married to his 4th wife, and he was also a player outside of that.
I heard
and he was a very generous player.
Yeah.
He helped those in need around him.
Yeah.
So he spent all his money on people around him, basically, and gave almost all of it away. Yeah, so it's good intentions, you guess, with your generosity, but I guess, really, once you die, it's your family that takes on your debt, so I guess it sucks for them.
Then he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He made his money, enjoy his money.
He said,
figure your own way
out.
out.
Why would I pay for y'all's life when I can't even enjoy watching that, you know? Or maybe he could. We don't know. We can't see these.
And I think I read something too about it was.
And it was at Paramount Studios.
I think somebody made him upset about a bit he was doing, a comedy bit. I think they gave told him how to make it funny or make it funnier, and so he was upset because it's I'm a comedian. I know it's funny. I know,
yeah.
And I think that's what had upset him because he got upset about something that someone said about what he was doing.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Everyone was they're just joking around and but they didn't say what they were joking around about. But until the television debut of Sanford and Son in 1972, Fox was more known for nightclubs and his stand-up comedy. So it's fair that he was getting mad too. He's comedy's my roots, bitch.
That's what I'm saying, right? And he would have been that one to say that.
Yeah.
He been for a long time. That's
for real. I know I was funny.
Right. That's at 68, so at 68 they already,
true.
they ain't.
Especially if they're even.
Don't tell me.
If they're younger too.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to do me. 68, 68. Listen, they in their way.
Uh-huh.
So look, don't tell me. I admitted this pretty much at this point. Oh man, but that's so sad, man.
Yeah, for real.
I don't think they could finish.
This is what someone said about him. Said Fox never wanted to keep his opinions to himself.
Right. I didn't see that.
He said, this is, I guess, a quote of Fox's. Or the person giving the interview. It's very not clear. I'm going to read it verbatim what the article says. Fox never wanted to keep his opinions to himself, said in the same interview. Oh no, they're talking about Fox. Okay, yeah. Okay, so he said, I don't want no black takeover. Black power and white power are meaningless. I want green, in parentheses, money power.
Yeah. Say that. Come on. Money power.
And he got that money power,
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm going to use it for me.
For
Bye.
For me. I love that for him.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, he constantly had bitches all around
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So.
I think he even played, he was actually fairly young in Sanford or something. He actually played older. I think they both about the same age.
I don't know his name. Okay, but I want to read this last thing about it. So, Brandon Tartikoff, the chairman of Paramount Pictures, which co-produced the show, said in a statement, Red Fox was blessed with the ability to make people laugh, and audiences everywhere loved him for it. Within a short period of time, Red and his royal family had won their way into millions of hearts and homes. All of us at Paramount are sad to lose such a friend and a one-of-a-kind talent. Yeah, he started performing like early, like as a kid. Yeah.
Speaking of Brandon's, my last person is it's Brandon Lee, and Brandon Lee was also for those who don't know, Brandon Lee was the son of the martial arts legend Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee died when Brandon was actually 8 years old. Which is a lot surrounding the whole thing in regards to that too. I'll get into a little later. But Brandon was a exceptional actor. For those who don't know, he's making his way up into the ranks of Hollywood, kind of following his father's footsteps. So he had so a few beginning successes. Showdown Little Tokyo, Rapid Fire. He was definitely kind of a star on the rise. But sadly, as we've been talking about, on March 31st, 1993, a tragic accident changed everything because he was filming what really been on his breakout roles. Really, they were filming The Crow, and he was actually fatally shot during the scene, and kind of similar to some circumstances. It's again a lot of mystery and controversy, but he was supposed to, and it's so crazy because in the movie he was like, so in the movie he was supposed to it was these gang members who was had broken in and was messing with his wife, and so what it was, the premise of the show was that he confronts them and they shoot him, he dies, but he kind of comes back to raise revenge on the gang members. So this particular scene was that scene where he got shot in the resurrection of it. And he only had 2 days left to film. So Harry filmed everything else. And they was literally just filming really the beginning of, of the movie. And so what they did was they normally use, how you normally use blanks and stuff in the guns and prop guns and stuff we use.
Yeah.
So what they did was they was going to do a close-up shot, and then of course do a wide shot or whatever. So they needed, of course, to see the bullet, in the chamber or whatever. So they kind of, instead of buying the actual, it was trying to, again, save money, costs, preserve resources. So instead of using the real bullets, blanks, and waste those, they were going to make one. So they made their own. So they took the bullet apart, took the gunpowder out, whatever, and then that was the shot they used for the close-up. What they didn't know is that some of the bearings were still in the gun. So when they loaded up with the blank behind it, and then they fired, it was pretty much like a real bullet coming out, and it shot him directly in his abdomen. And he was supposed to fall back. He fell forward, and so of course it was like, well, kind of weird. But they thought he was kind of acting, and even when they went to check him, they didn't initially see blood, so they didn't know. They didn't know he was bleeding. Like, they got a medic come on set and check his pulse, and at first couple seconds he was fine. Then immediately, of course, declined, and then of course, like, about, I think 3-4 hours in surgery, it just didn't make it.
Only 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah. And it's so crazy,
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, it's he was so young. I mean, he was 20. I was say he was 28. So literally like 20 years since. It's so crazy too, because it's 20 years since his dad died.
And
he
this,
got young
wait,
too.
what year in 1993? I mean, what day?
March 31st.
Okay, yeah, so it's how it has been already 20 years.
And it's like,
I mean, not 20 years, 30 years. Oh my god.
20 years? That's 20 years.
No.
Since then?
Since then.
Oh, since then, yes. 30.
Yeah,
I thought you meant.
I mean, it has already been 20 years. I'm not wrong in that statement. Already been at least 20 years. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But no, it's been over 30 years. It's because I keep on wanting to think that I'm young.
I still want to believe, man. Yes, I mean, but again, that goes back to, like I said, we talked about before, like, but then, like, especially stuff like that, like, how do you, like, check for those kind of things,
Yeah.
Like, especially for, like, and I feel like when it comes to those problem and stuff, like, they should always, even on the safety measure, clear the initial set and always clear the first bullet. I don't understand how hard that is. You know what I mean? Like, always.
Or, honestly, no, I read a bunch of stuff about how even with fake...
Hey, everyone!
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode. Talkin' Shit, yes!
Yes!
Oh my God, so thankful if you made it this far, and, just hanging with us, and, hopefully, you learned something valuable, or things that we can laugh or cry,
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate your support. If you did make it this far, you can see that the video looks really different right now. If you're an audio listener, this whole thing is just confusing. But yeah, some shit went down.
We lost the last 20 minutes of video. It's out there, I guess, never to be seen again. So we still have the audio that we have, so we still want to share those last 20 minutes with you. So we just ask you to bear with us. It's our first episode.
Yeah.
But,
we're learning. We're growing.
Absolutely. Just bear with us, and just continue to stay on this journey with us as we learn and as we get better.
Yeah, I hope that you're able to see our growth and appreciate our candor, because we just want to keep it real with y'all, and that's what happened. We weren't going to re-record. We were just going to keep what we have, and we appreciate you taking this ride. So this is the last time you'll see our beautiful faces for this episode. Next episode, you'll see us. So take it in.
So tune in to the last 20 minutes audio versions of the last 20 minutes, and thank you again. And I say love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
See you
See you later.
later.
All right. Welcome back. We got cut off. Now I can't remember what part we got cut off on, because we had to... Okay, so basically I don't have something that takes the big... what do they call it? The big
SD card?
SD cards, yeah, for like to offload our stuff. And so we had to offload all of our stuff from the one car that we do have, that we have something to connect it to.
Right, we getting it
And,
together.
yeah.
Getting it together. You working it out.
So
You
we're
back it
here
up.
now.
We back it up. They say bet like you never left.
Yeah. I'd like to give a backstory, though, because I like to know a backstory.
Yeah.
Do you not?
I don't know.
You seem like you don't.
No.
Every time I give a backstory, you're like, okay, moving on. But I like to
I
hear
think it's my
that.
life that I mean, move on.
No, see, I want to know the whole process. I want to know how we got here, why things look different, why it feels different, you know?
Yeah.
And why I got cut off in the middle of my sentence.
They come out like, what happened? That's what happened.
That is what happened.
Issue.
I always wonder, but I never comment on people's stuff to, like, if anything like that happens and they don't explain it. Or when they do explain it, I'm like, thank you.
But lucky this is our first one, so.
Yeah.
I gotta give us grace.
Yeah, for
Lots
real.
of grace to get it together, but
Yeah.
we here, man.
It'll nothing but improvement from here.
They don't even know the half. And for real though.
Yeah.
Only improvement. We can only go up from
That's
here.
the limit.
So I guess we move up past my guy.
Yeah, because
but,
I can't remember. Oh yeah, we were just talking about how what we thought was recording that wasn't was like we were talking about how on a bunch of different sets like there's been just the like special effects material in it that's not like blanks and that's not bullets or any of that still can like shoot through and like ricochet around in your brain and stuff and hemorrhage. So fun stuff.
Fun stuff, man. That life is dangerous, man. Jeez.
Yeah, for real. So the last person of mine I want to talk about is someone that like definitely. I knew I was going to get emotional on this part. Definitely had a big impact on my life. And I'm sure a bunch of other people with his huge resume. But I have to give it up to my guy, John Ritter. He died September 11th, 2003. And, I mean, I had already experienced death in my life at this point growing up, but because I guess I would have been almost 7. Dang, I just gave away my birthday. Okay, I would have been a young child. I don't know if I want to give away. I might put a bleep there. I don't know. But anyways, I remember this in real time, and it was just devastating. So let me give you some background on him. So a big thing before I even knew that I loved him as an actor. I loved him as an actor because of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah.
He's Clifford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I love that. I read all those books. I watched that show, all of it.
I did too.
And then he's been on several things. He's been on Scrubs on a couple episodes. And where's the big one? There's one from back in the day, and I can't remember the name right now. Is somebody gonna get mad at me for saying that? Three's Company. There we go. He did Three's Company. He did Sling Blade and Bad Santa, and he had physical comedy gifts that helped elevate Three's Company from 1977 to 1984, and then returned back in 2002 as the star of 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. That article is from Looper, that quote. But what's crazy is I watched 8 Simple Rules a few weeks ago. You were there, actually, the night that we decided we were going to start this podcast. Yeah. And every time I forget how quickly into the show it happened. Like, it was only like the 3rd or maybe 4th episode on the 2nd season that he had passed away.
Yeah.
And that show also blew up. It was super popular from the get-go.
Right.
Because he's just so likable, and everyone in that cast is really likable.
Yeah.
It's a strong family unit, strong character, strong writing. Although I will forever hate Tommy's character and wish it wasn't a part of the show. Basically, this one character that literally is like a child predator.
Yeah.
Because he talks about John Ritter's character's daughter, like, as the hot daughter and blah, 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 and, like, calls her hot and, like, sexualizes her, and she's, like, 15, 16.
Oh, yeah.
But Kaylee Cuoco was on this show, and she was actually 16 at the time, and I was watching a clip of her talking about how she was in the audition, she wore like a spaghetti strap shirt, and he came in and was like, if you're going to play my daughter, then you're going to cover her up or whatever, and like grabbed someone's jacket and put it over her, and just like instantly was like in this father role. But he was like playing along with it. But yeah, it was just really fun. And basically what happened in his death was that he was on set one day and he started feeling really sick suddenly and woozy and nauseated and like complaining of chest pains. So then he went to Burbank, Providence, St. Joseph Medical Center. They thought he was having a heart attack, but then they found out he had an undiagnosed aortic dissection, and that can be a fatal issue if blood flow is interrupted to the coronary arteries or one of the arteries rupture. And that's what happened. And he was only 54 years old. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And everything I ever saw about him just talked about what an amazing person he was. And he studied under Stella Adler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like a based on a Stanislavski type method, the acting methods, and it does a lot of deep script work and brings in like your personal experience, and you use like real observations to fuel your imagination and create three-dimensional characters. So just a fun fact, he was definitely their number one. And if you don't know, number one is in reference to the call sheet, because they don't tell you how much everybody gets paid, but they tell the whole crew who's making the most. And in what order, your number one is your most high-paid actor on the call sheet. And he made $75,000 per episode in 2002, so that's even that's a long time ago. And but then when he was on Three's Company, he was making $50,000 an episode. That was in the 70s.
Oh yeah, wow.
70s to 80s, like that's even more than I think 75,000 is in the equivalent. Yeah.
Get paid. That's so. Right.
Yeah, I wonder how much he was making as Clifford. I wonder if he was number one or the little girl was number one in Clifford, because it's not clear with that. They're pretty even, I feel like. But Kaylee Cuoco talked about in like her last conversation with him, like she was checking on him before he went to the hospital, because they were on set originally, like when he fell ill, and she already talked about so much how he was really a father figure, like in real life too, and how much of a family they were. So her last conversation with him, where he pulled his arm, was like, I love you, I just want you to know that. So that's the kind of stuff that really gets me, because it's like, I feel like they knew, but he wasn't going to say it, and he wasn't, you don't really know, but you have that gut feeling, you know. And what made it even harder is, he's such a beloved person in this community, and, everybody that I've ever known that's ever known him just talks about how funny and like amazing and silly he is. And then they had a funeral for his character.
Really?
So it's like you got to see them live out their real grief like on camera.
Oh, that's so dope.
And they tried to continue after he left, and it was not the same. Like it didn't work
Right.
because everybody like he was like the hole that was missing. Yeah, it's like it's really sad. And I remember, like as a kid, I've always been emotional. As you can tell, okay, emotional. I was like bawling, crying as a kid, and that was like in real time because I remember him dying. It's just crazy, and it's crazy that to think about that is very close to being 20 years ago.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that was such like a pivotal part of my childhood, especially because I knew, like, I saw different press growing up, and like I watched all these things that just talked about his relationship with other people and how great of a person he was. So it makes it harder, for sure, when like someone's the kick-ass human.
Yeah. That's so dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
just to be, you know, still remember for those things, like, you know, the legacy thing is important, you know. And
Yeah.
I think to be in a place where you're doing what you love, you know what I mean? Like, or you were doing what you love before, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like there's no better way, you know, without. Last thing I did was, you know, but I think the other shows like that too. That's what Red Fox. I don't think that show survived that people going either because it's like the pivotal part of the show. So I don't think they. I think they had to stop shooting too. But
It's just crazy. It's very
like
insane.
50 something, it's so young.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and that's why I saved that one for last, because I knew I was going to cry about it. I didn't cry as much as I do if I watch any episode about it or after it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I like literally cry for hours every time I see the funeral episodes, especially. Because it's like, it makes it more sad that it's real, but it also makes me happy cry at the same time for like the love. Everything you see is real, you know?
Yeah. I love that. That's so emotional. You are. I love
I
it.
know. I don't want to feel. I mean, thankfully I said this to the end because it's like, okay, maybe you like me enough to accept that I'm a crybaby.
Love us, laugh with us, cry with us, and all of it.
It's really just I have such strong feelings towards it, and it just, it makes me feel the feels and can't help but express those feels.
Let's get happy. We have those, you know, characters we grow up with that we, you know, almost like family, you know. And have a few, you know, ourselves, musicians and stuff. That we talk about our next one and stuff. So, like we just have to carry these folks' legacy, you know. I mean, they make some great impacts, and especially in our world, I mean, you know, trying to pursue the same things, you know what I'm saying, avenues.
Yeah. Also be mindful, like, of how many of, if not all of these cases were either directly caused or it played a part in, like, how long filming hours are and how little sleep people get and what that does for safety and what that does and put the pressure on their heart and, like, all that. Like, it's a very stressful,
very demanding. I think that's demanding.
Yeah.
You know,
industry.
And keep that going and keep it up and maintain it. And I mean, of course, it's your whole livelihood. It is how you know,
it's hard to find a balance in it. It's very hard because, like, you definitely want to work your ass off and get where you want to be, but you're also like, you want to be able to sustain that.
Right.
And
it is demanding. It's tough. It's so demanding.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when you know, on various sides, because it's like not just for the victim, but it's, the catalyst before, like a lot of things you talk about were like tragedies based off of what would have been other departments and stuff. But every department, not just actors, have long nights and long days.
Yeah.
Every.
Oh well, and I would bet money on that every other department has longer days than actors.
That's true, even right.
So even more of a thing.
Right,
like it wasn't just because of the actors' sleeplessness that some of it, like with the helicopter, it was a lot of people's.
Right.
Whether they
negligence in a way.
Yeah, and they even said in the article like they had long hours and that they were violating laws and stuff. So
fatigue can do something too. You cut corners.
Yeah.
Especially you're not thinking like in those moments, especially because we know sets are always fast paced.
Yeah.
So there's always you thinking about the fact that they always want you to save money, save time, save money, save time, and the corners that get cut sometimes end up being fatal ones.
Yeah.
Or the lack of attention to small detail right here, is a trajectory of literally almost life and death for some, and I guess that makes us become, an advocate of like reform in film and theater, man. We need it.
I definitely want to.
We need some change, man. We need but which would definitely be a conversation for another time.
Because that would be its own thing. Because then I'll get into our whole thing, and
there's a lot to talk about.
And we gotta end soon because we know we've been going long anyway. So
we definitely want to be letting you know about that one. 'Cause that's a good one.
I love you. I'm happy that we're both alive
and doing this and bringing this.
And
you all.
Yeah, we survived this set.
We did. Oh man, we did. But more coming, better coming. Like I hope you guys like this. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So some of these artists and actors, actresses you never heard of, go check them out. Look at their work. Keep their legacy going too.
For sure. All right. Okay. Well,
we
love you. Love you. Bye. Catch you on the flippity flip.